Hi guys, my name is Alana Estevam. I'm here to do the interview part. Beautiful. Not beautiful. Because I'm all done. After my whole video, running my ass off, recording everything, taking pictures, so we're finished. And I'm going to split this interview in two parts. The first talking about me and my art, and then talking a little bit about myself. Alana is a drag act that emerged at the end of 2017, with the first opportunity that I had been given by Drags Boulevard and Romulo. Also with David at Cabaret das Divas, where was my first performance of drag. A few months later, I think in 2018, my first drag performance in a theater. And to tell the truth, my desire to do drag was very strong. But I didn't know anything about drag. Didn't know makeup, didn't know how to style a wig, didn't know how to make a prosthesis. I didn't know how to do anything I had to do. I had to really learn on the fly, learning by necessity. Me, personally, and in relation to makeup, I really wanted to have some cool makeup at least, so I worked hard at making it beautiful. I went and bought things, and since the beginning of my drag career, I had a tremendous desire to do weird things. I remember I liked an act by Vander Von Ode, who was the first winner of Dragula, which is such an immense passion I share in my drag, that I have had a willingness to go more into the area of alternative art, because I think drag in Brazil is seen primarily as a female impersonator, because they're effeminate, like a beauty queen, or even the most spooky queen becomes something more camp. Horror is a beautiful thing, not just something for you to see on Halloween, or something cute to get likes or make beautiful makeup, but consider horror as a genre of drag even, that evoked such a strong desire inside of me. But in the art of drag, it's not well received. They want a beauty queen, someone beautiful, or that is there to have fun or do comedy. So I had to invest a lot in some paths that don't really represent my identity as a drag queen, because I want to please the public, because we want the audience, or for wanting to command my own space as a drag performer. Zelda and I, who are organizers of the event, we always had a way of conquering these spaces. We always had the dream of having a show for alternative drags from here in the city, for queens who connect their art more to horror or the macabre, or for queens to differentiate themselves from other genres of drag. So we ended up creating the Glam Horror Show, a project that was supposed to be a drag competition, and it ended up being a festival. In fact, it was much better as a festival when girls were having difficulties even to participate in competitions. Competition is a thing that weighs on you psychologically, that you will be judged, and it's heavy because you can spend a lot and not win anything, and to do a gig that's paid, thanks to our sponsor Brian, an open parachute. And it has been a privilege, and it has been really great. It has been like an opportunity to finally do something that represents Alana's true identity, and I'm already connecting this thing to Alana's identity with my presentation. It is because I am a person who usually wants to do things that are not very happy. People tend to expect something happy, something funny, something to laugh about, and Alana, usually she is very fond of bringing sadness to the stage because that is the truth. I see a lot of beauty in sadness, especially as I go through many sad moments in life. Then I have to deal with my bipolar issues, then explore and express these feelings. It's not so taboo for a person like me, although I also work a lot with other things, but there are always sad parts in my acts because I'm dealing with the phases of sadness, of victory, of the beauty of defeat that is life, right? Art has to imitate life, and drag is for me. She doesn't have to serve only to make you smile, or just to be able to release joy, or just to be able to do a death drop and get a standing ovation. She has to bring reflections, she has to bring concepts, she has to bring meaning, and she has to bring part of the identity of the author of that art, because drag is a very authorial art, which allows us to express everything that exists within us, and this part of my presentation is a little delicate, because I will deal with an issue that's taboo in our society, which is suicide, which is a subject that is so very difficult to talk about, but I try to deal with it in a very positive way, because a person like me who has had experiences like thinking about committing suicide or experiencing crises of very strong bipolarity that are related to suicide, We end up having to explore those feelings and having to face the feelings for us to not actually die. And sometimes a person, including me, when in the middle of a crisis, she usually does not have the view that the feeling is a fleeting feeling, a feeling that will pass. We have the view that the feeling is eternal, and that for whatever reasons, whether they are internal or external, they lead us to think that suicide is the only solution. And this is very difficult in a society in which that subject is quite taboo. And talking about this, when you verbalize it, you can end up losing your job, losing friends, losing mentors, not getting called. So it's sad because it ends up isolating the person who comments on it, who talks about it, who admits he wanted to do that, or who went to therapy to treat that, and it ends up isolating them. And from time to time, it is very difficult for us to face, and for me to face, through this art that I reflected on my feelings. And those bad feelings, I learned were fleeting feelings, which were feelings that were gone, but at the moment, for me, it was a true feeling, and it felt like a feeling that would never end. And I wanted to embody this. I wanted to bring that from my core and put it out there. And how even though it's something that is treated as taboo, as ugly, as macabre, as horrible and condemnable, I embody all this as something that is also treated as taboo, ugly, macabre. Although for me, I look beautiful, and I let those feelings come through. But at the same time, I'm exploring and controlling them, facing them, knowing that they are passengers who are temporary. That this is not the final solution. That after a crisis is over, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We wake up from that crisis and we breathe, because that feeling was suffocating. We left then, just quit. I hope everyone gets good feelings despite this being a very macabre thing, a very strange thing. And I hope people get good feelings because this journey is a journey of victory. It's not a negative journey of tragedy. It's a journey that, in the end, I managed to overcome. And I think many other people may be experiencing similar feelings and can get something out of it, and also be able to confront their issues and find their way. And then they'll be able to overcome.